Hey everyone, I think Fendota has also joined. Can you hear us? Fendota, by the way, I've shared speaker access with you. Great, I see you have the access. I think we can give 1 more minute for a couple more folks to join in, and then we can start, if that's okay.
Yep. Hello, guys.
Awesome.
Let me see if someone can join with the main Bifi account, and if not, I will do it myself.
Awesome. Sure.
So we are sending out a tweet right now,
Mm-hmm.
so our community joins, and we will have someone from the team joining with Bifi Finance, so we have full exposure.
Awesome. So from the main handle, right?
Yep.
Cool. Let's give it 2, 3 more minutes. I've shared the co-host access with the main handle.
Cool. So the tweet is out, and we just joined with the main account, so people should start joining soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to wait. Do you want to kick it off? It's up to you.
Yeah, I think we can give it 1 more minute. Uh, Do you want to continue
Sure.
speaking from this handle or do you want to do it from the BC handle? Like whatever works for you guys.
I will speak from Doto.
Sure. By the way, I've shared the co-host access with the BP handle as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Just with him being on the space, uh, it makes it seen by every
gotcha.
follower. So
Yeah,
I think it's the same.
yeah, got it. Cool. Let's just give it 1 more minute and let's start.
Yep.
Cool. I think we can start.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Awesome. All right. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We have today with us from Doto and the BC team. Uh, Today with us. Really valued to sort of have you here. So basically, this AMA is all about the role of liquid staking and yield optimizers in DeFi. I think what we can do is maybe a quick round of intro from both sides. Maybe I can do a quick round of intro about me and what we are doing here at Stader BNB, just a couple of updates, and then we can pass the baton to you. So, my name is Vansh, and I take care of all things business related for the BNB staking solution here at Stida. Just a couple of updates. We've been in this space for the BNB staking solution has been live up and running for the last 10 months or so. There's close to 40,000 BNB staked with Stader already. We have uh, upwards of 3,000 users already staking with us. And we already have 10 plus DeFi partners. Given that liquid staking is a sort of a window to DeFi, and there's already sort of $15 million worth of liquidity sitting in BNB based pools out there on DeFi. I think I would also sort of want to mention that we have been a long-standing partner with Beefy, given that the reach that Beefy has and the reputation that Beefy has, we have activated multiple voids with them. So almost all BNB pools out there, most of them are activated as voids on Beefy, and most of them are BNBX BNB voids. Given that BNBX is an asset which is pegged to BNB, most of these voids are low risk or safe voids, so to say. So you can always see the safety scores on these voids as being upwards of 9 or 9.5. So yeah, that's just a bit about me, Stader, and what we're doing with Beefy. Over to you, Ferndoto, if you can do a quick round of intro from your end.
Yeah, absolutely. Before introducing myself, please, Bunch, remind me if I don't do it to share some analytics about BNBX after the call because we have some numbers that you might find interesting. This came to mind since you started naming some numbers of
Absolutely.
BNBX.
Yeah,
So I will try to remind it myself, but if not, just ping me.
sure.
But yeah, I'm Fran. I'm a collaborator in Beefy. Like most of the current contributors, we basically started helping in the protocol after the founders left. Beefy is a yield optimizer for everyone that does not know. That launched in September of 2020 in BNB chain. Basically, and slowly we became a multi-chain protocol. We are in 19 different chains right now, auto-compounding a lot of TVL for our users with with our number one priority, which is safety of the funds that we have in our vaults. I'm part of the business development team, like you, Vansh,
Hmm.
and yeah, just my main focus is to be connected with partners, see how we can help each other, and ultimately get the best for our users.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for the intro, Ferndoto. Just to sort of start with, could you walk us through a bit of history of how Beefy became the yield optimizer it is today, the sort of DAO structure you guys have, collaborators, etc., and the sort of milestones that you've reached in the last couple of months or quarters, just if you could run us through that.
Yeah, so this is quite unique to Wi-Fi because unlike most of the other protocols, what happens with Wi-Fi is that when the protocol launched in September of 2020, it was run by their founders. And a couple of months later, the founders left, and basically the protocol got taken over by collaborators. And I started collaborating in marketing, slowly moved into business development, but it was quite unique because we got programmers that were really passionate about Beefy that jumped in and started collaborating. Many of us did it for free for a couple of months until we got like a solid structure. But if you see other protocols, most of the other protocols, is just the founders that start doing some interviews. They form their team, and it has like a Web2 structure, at least in the workforce aspect. But for Bifi, is very different. We got a lot of people that just love the protocol. We're looking into ways to make it better, and basically that's how Bifi became what it is today. It's just people that love the protocol and wanted to help. And slowly but surely, we found ways to start paying these people. And all of this is governed by the Bifi holders, right? So one more thing is that in the beginning of the protocol, around like September 2020, the Bifi tokens got completely distributed, and now the holders of those Bifi tokens decide what happens with the treasury, and basically help us guide the path that we should take when we basically decide in economic stuff and some important decisions for the protocol.
Awesome, awesome. Great to know. In fact, I wasn't aware of the history to this extent, and it seems like a good analogy to one of those case studies, where the mission supersedes the uh, team or the org structure, so to say. And great to see BC have come along such a, uh, you know, uh,
Yeah,
having amassed
yeah, we got
these many milestones throughout the, yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to say that we got really lucky because I'm very confident that we have one of the most passionate and talented teams in the Web3 space, and you can see it in the level of development that the application has, in the effort that our developers put every day to make sure that our application and our contracts are safe. So I'm honestly really proud of the team and the DAO structure that we formed.
yeah,
I wanted to say that.
yeah. Great to hear that. And I myself am a user of BC Finance, so I can vouch for the user experience and the stuff that you guys are doing. Great.
I love it.
My second question to you is, what are the things that you would want to point out that, in your opinion, make BC Finance unique, or basically the competitive advantages that you guys have to offer when it comes to comparison with sort of other yield optimizers and aggregators in the market?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I love this question because when you look at yield optimizers, if you make like a liked review, you will think that they all look the same. But like I said in the past, Bifi, the number one priority for Bifi or for us is to have the safest application, the safest contracts in the space. We know that getting one thing wrong can destroy all of the reputation that we have built for almost 3 years. So not only the development team, but mainly the development team is working constantly to see that everything is working as intended in Bifi. We want to make sure that the money that our users put in the vaults is as safe as possible. So that's one thing. For example, one of the measures that we took is to monitor every upgrade that our partners do to their contracts. So we have a bot that watches every time lock of the underlying platforms that we listed,
Hmm.
and we are seeing if anything weird gets pushed to those time locks. We want to make sure that not only our reputation stays intact, but also we want to help other protocols secure their stuff, because they might not do anything malicious, but they might have some weaknesses in their setup. So our team works really hard to help them and basically help secure the space.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And the other thing is that the application, the Bifi application, is so amazing. And again, I will use this space to say how proud I am of the development team. But we are in 19 different chains, and if you see our app, it's a multi-chain app. It's not like a copy and paste of the domain into another chain. What happens when you enter Bifi is that in less than 1 second, the app will load information from more than 600 vaults. It will connect to 19 RPCs. So it's an engineering challenge to have all of this working seamlessly. So that's one thing. The user experience for Bifi is great, and we are constantly improving it. Not long ago, we launched the Bifi's app, which means that, well, in the past, if you wanted to enter any vault, you will have to go to the AMM, you will have to sell your tokens, and if you were lucky, the pools were 50-50, but we noticed in the past that not all the pools are 50-50, right? So you have the Solidly forks that implemented these stable pools. So now, if you wanted to provide liquidity, you might need to pull up your calculator or your Excel and start doing some math. And we know that this is a scary thing to do, especially if you're doing it for the first time. And since we know what's the best way to do it, we basically implemented some functionalities directly in our app that allows you to enter and exit most of the vaults directly from the Bifi UI, so you don't have to go to any other AMM or any other third-party app. And basically what you will do, I will put a concrete example so it's easier to understand. If you want to enter the BNBX BNB vault and you have, let's say, USDT, in the past, you would need to make a lot of trades, make a lot of approvals, go to different sites. So it's a bit cumbersome. So right now, after we implemented the one-inch SAP, you can enter any vault with just 2 transactions. So you would just need to approve the contract to spend your USDT, and the next transaction is just to send the tokens. And after those transactions got confirmed, you will see that you already have your position auto-compounding into the vault. You will have already the BNBX and BNB LP into the vault. So all of the things that we are doing into the app, all of these updates are to make the life of our users as simple as possible. We really believe that if we want to expand the space and get new people, get new users, we need to have a super straightforward app to use. We cannot expect my mother or my grandma to start using Excel and start doing complicated math to provide liquidity. I know that we have a long way to go, but constantly making the app better is the way to capture new users and keep the attention in DeFi, right?
Yeah.
So you asked. I don't want to take too much time in this question, but I think that there are a lot of things that make Bifi special. And I mentioned the security, of course, but I also mentioned the user experience. And one more thing that everyone is doing in DeFi is basically knowing or tracking, if your investment is performing the way you expected it. You want to see if the displayed APY is really what you're getting. So another success from our development team is that they indexed more than 50 billion blocks from a lot of blockchains that we're on to show you PNL data. So in the past, you would need to use this spreadsheet and start inputting data manually.
Yeah.
And now, if you just deposit into a Bifi vault, I love that Mike is responding with claps because I think he's a Bifi user and he knows how like a life improvement this is. But if you deposit into any Bifi vault and you go into the page, you will see all of your PNL data. If you will see how much your deposit grew in dollar value. You will see how much your LP tokens grew.
Yeah.
And you will see a very cool graph of it. And I think this is not like something vital, but I think it's such a such a great improvement on the tracking of your investment, when in the past you will have to use all of these manual tasks to track your stuff.
Yeah, no, great to hear this. I think all the focus areas sort of resound with me, and we're also trying to focus on the same here at Trader. But yeah, kudos to you. I mean, security, customer centricity, and user experience is something that we need to constantly work on, especially in the Web3 space to onboard more and more users and get to mainstream adoption. Awesome. I think you also mentioned that you're a multi-chain protocol. So my follow-up question to you is, like, how many chains are you live on? And if there are plans to sort of launch on even more chains in the coming future, and like what's been the reason for your success, you know, like a multi-chain platform?
Yeah. So we started, like I said, in Binance Smart Chain. We started deploying afterwards in other chains like Phantom, Avalanche, and that was quite naturally because basically our users started requesting for us to deploy on the chains. Someone might say that there are some basic protocols that need to be on the chains, on the different layer ones or layer twos, in order to be like a complete ecosystem. And obviously, the number one piece of that is having like an AMM, right? Others expand that into say that you will also need like a lending platform so you can borrow and lend different DeFi tokens. But
Yeah,
also, one of the things that users request quite frequently is to have an auto compounder, right? Because doing all of these things manually might be fun a couple of days or a couple of weeks. But if you really want to have like a long-term investment, for example, in liquid staking tokens, which we have a lot of pairs,
yeah,
auto compounding manually is quite demanding, and if you miss a couple of days, you will start seeing like a lower returns. And one other thing that is important is that if you have like a low dollar value um, investment, and if you start paying all of the compounding fees
hmm,
by doing manually, you will start seeing like lower returns, right?
yeah,
So if you have like $50 or $100, it makes way more sense to just stake it on Bifi and wait for the vault to compound that, since you don't have to pay any fees.
yeah,
And when you're ready, you can just withdraw, and you can use obviously our 1 inch sub to withdraw in any token form that you want. It's just um, a simple transaction.
gotcha. Cool.
Uh, yeah, and one of the sorry, going back to the
Hmm.
question, you said about the
Yeah,
success on Bifi being multi-chain. It's um, it's a quite special phenomenon because the TVL that Bifi has is not concentrated in just one chain,
yeah,
right? If you go into our app and look into the TVL, we have a lot of millions in many different chains, and that is very organic. It's just users that really want to earn the highest yield, and also they want Bifi on the chain to make sure that they can trust this AMM, right?
yeah,
So if you go to, I will use an example of a chain that we are not yet on, but CK Sync is becoming quite popular
yeah,
lately, and basically what is starting to happening is that we have people just asking when are we going to deploy on the chains, because they are seeing AMMs there, but they don't know if they are safe enough, right?
yeah,
So they are waiting for Bifi to deploy on the chain. They are waiting to see the vaults so they can have peace of mind that they can invest in this new chain, and basically know that our dev team is doing the best that we can to make sure that those pools are safe.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, that sort of answers my question really well, and I think there's a boost program as well that you guys are running. From time to time, we see tweets coming out mentioning the boosted deals that are going live on top of multiple vaults. And we ourselves are sort of running boosts on, I think, four vaults right now, most of them being BNB,
Yeah.
HBNB. But just yeah, for the common understanding of everyone here, if you could just elaborate a bit on what boosts are and how they typically work.
Yeah. So the Beefy Boost program is basically a way that we have to partner with different protocols. We do it mainly with our best partners. So we give exposure to a special exposure, sorry, to some limited amount of volts. And going back into the benefits of Beefy, we have a multi-chain app, right? So if you connect from Avalanche and we are boosting BNBX volts, you will see it anyways. So what happens is that those volts get a lot of exposure, and as a side thing, the users get extra APYs. So it's basically like a prime time, let's say, on the app, where we can get a lot of users to deposit into these promotional goals, let's say, and it has been like quite I want to say impactful initiative, because all of the vaults, or most of the vaults that we have boosted, have a lot of TVL of the underlying LP into the vault. So it's a great way to capture new users and to basically attract the people to uh, move their funds into the auto-compounding vaults from the AMM.
Awesome.
And I also want to say that we are really happy with Stellar boosting the vaults. I think it's a great way to show our users the best vaults that we have, and you will see that most of the boosted vaults have many millions in TVL, and that is because obviously we are giving something extra, but they are super attractive in terms of having basically zero impermanent loss. You will find that they are all blue chips. So you have Ethereum, BNB, you have Matic. So overall, it's been like a great program. I don't know if you wanna add something to that, because Stadler, like you said, is boosting some bolts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we've been doing the boost for the longest time that I can remember, ever since we've launched and ever since we integrated to Beefy, we've been running these boosts and they've been great in terms of getting visibility and getting adoption. And the reason for running these boosts have not just been to sort of onboard more users, but also to sort of get more users onto the Beefy platform. Because I think that ultimately, while is a lever for us to get more TVL, I think it's also uh, a better strategy to get those users on board who use Beefy a lot and who find the UX simple and less complex, and who just don't want to go through the complexities of DeFi otherwise. So I think, yeah, and we foresee the Boost program from our side will continue to keep incentivizing and pumping in a bit more boost as more and more words go live. So yeah, happy to continue this partnership for as long as we can imagine.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. And I think what it's also special about the boost is that it allows the users to basically earn some part of Stadler, and allow users to kind of feel owners, or like that they can like govern a part of this new protocol. Well, new protocol not, but this boosted vault. I think
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, in Bifi normally you only get more of what you deposited. So this is a great opportunity to expand the awareness of your native token to our multi-chain audience. I think that's right.
exactly. And I think with all the efforts that we've been taking at our end to grow Trader as a platform, going live on multiple chains, with ETH being our next launch, and all the doubling down that we're doing on the existing chains also. I think SD is a great token for people to hold, and we see a couple of users flocking to BP also to earn those SD boosts as well. But yeah, I won't talk more about that anyway. So yeah, the next question that I wanted to ask is, what is your take on liquid staking, and how does sort of liquid staking intersect with DeFi, in your opinion?
Yeah. So I think something special is happening with liquid staking and DeFi in general, because liquid staking, well, DeFi on itself allows this composability, this unique thing that basically allows you to earn interest on something that is already earning interest. And liquid staking tokens are like a perfect example of this, right? So you have BNBX, which is already earning yield, but you can pair it with BNB, put it on Bifi, and you will start earning even more from the AMM rewards that we compound into more BNBX. And even like another level of composability is given by these boosts that we are doing. So you are earning in three ways, which is very hard to find. I would say basically impossible to find in traditional finance. So I am very happy about all of the things that we are building in DeFi. And I also want to say that I feel especially good about having a lot of TVL in um, liquid staking tokens, because it's
Hmm.
first, it's very safe. You are basically validating the chain and getting yield for one of the safest things to do in DeFi. So I think
Yeah,
that's very cool. And also it's organic yield, right? So you are not getting like an inflationary AMM token or something like that. So
hmm,
it's good in many ways, and obviously you're helping with the validation of the chain and making it more decentralized.
yeah,
So it's good in many aspects. And one good indicator of this is that most of the TVL that we have right now is just liquid staking tokens and stable coins, right? So it's just things that don't experience a lot of impermanent loss, since
yeah,
like the users tend to trust those vaults more than the others.
yeah, absolutely. So I think, yeah, just to sort of add on to that, we also believe that liquid staking is one of the safest ways to get organic staking yields. And yeah, I think one of the main attractive points for people to flock onto liquid staking when compared to traditional staking is one, that it acts as a window to DeFi, so you get to earn DeFi yields on top of usual staking yields. And two, there's always this option of instant liquidity. You don't have to wait for the
Yeah,
unstaking period of up to 15 days. You can swap out of your BNBX position anytime, and whatever is the value of BNBX at that point of time on the DEX, you can just simply get that and exit your position. So I think it's a great way to earn these yields, and Beefy, with all the UX that it has and has abstracted away all the complexities of DeFi. I think it really complements our DeFi strategies that we support on top of BNBX. Great. I think just to move on, I think I'll sort of talk a bit more about the vaults that are live on BP right now, especially the BNBX vaults.
hmm,
So as of now, I think there are multiple dexes that we are partners with, and almost all of them we are having a vault with you guys, be it PancakeSwap, Ellipsis, ApeSwap, Thena, and within dexes, I think like Thena, we have multiple pools. All of those vaults are live, barring one or two here and there, and many of those are, live with boosts as well. And as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the combined TVL is like $6.5 million across these
hmm.
vaults, which is pretty great. So yeah, I think that's great. And uh, I also want to sort of call it out that a couple more pools are getting launched in the future. Wouldn't want to give out the names of the dexes, but there are a couple of them which are in talks. Lending will soon go live on BNPX. Again, won't name the projects, but we're in talk with multiple projects out there. So if and when it is possible to sort of collaborate with you guys and do single-sided voids, we'll be happy to do that as well. And yeah, I think
Yeah,
on Thena, one of the existing protocols, we do have multiple vaults right now. I think we'll be launching the ETH BNBX and BTC BNBX, two of these pools also. So I think we can probably roll out vaults for that as well. But yeah, happy to
yeah.
hand it over
If
to you if you want to share any key stats and analytics, basically.
Yeah, so continuing on what you said, we are obviously very close in touch. So we are building auto-compounding vaults for all of the BNBX vaults that you guys share, obviously, as long as they meet our safety requirements. I want to say that it's honestly super great to see the adoption that BNBX is getting. Basically, people are allowed to trade it on basically every AMM on PancakeSwap, or at least the biggest ones. So it helps a lot with the liquidity of the token. It helps with users if they want to exit BNBX through selling to BNB. Having good liquidity, it's also very important. But I also want to say that slowly BNBX is starting to replace BNB. Sorry for the mic. It's starting to replace BNB in some AMM pairs. So you see pairs like BNBX frags that start popping up. So that's something great to see. And I also want to say that if you are farming the SD tokens from the boosts and you want to know what you can do with them, we also have some SD BNBX vaults where you can deposit them, so you go full circle. But yeah, most of the BNBX opportunities that are out there, we just bold them and start offering them for users to earn compounded interest. Sorry.
Yeah. Great. I think so. Sort of to just give some concluding remarks, I really enjoyed talking to you for one, and I think the long-standing partnership that BP and Stader have is only going to continue and grow upwards from here. And
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
with all the yeah, and with all the vaults and the pools that we're going to launch in the future, I think we're definitely going to come to you guys and integrate those vaults as well. So yeah,
When
just
ETH, sir?
ETHX is just a couple of weeks down the line. We don't have an exact date yet, but most likely you should see it launching by the end of April, or if that's a bit optimistic, I'd say by the first or second week of May.
Okay. I want to say
Yeah.
that you probably won't say it, but I want to say that clearly the market is expecting for it. That's why your SD token is pumping. Seems
Yeah.
like the Shanghai upgrade is something that will help a lot of Ethereum liquid staking protocols. So I will be delighted to see some ETHX opportunities in Ethereum, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah. Beefy will be our top consideration for that as well.
Woohoo!
Great.
No, but overall, I want to say that we are super happy with the partnership. I love doing these spaces with you. It's always super interesting. And yeah, I think that we have a lot of things to show and to mention to the community. So I love doing this. And I also love how you guys are supporting us, and you have supported us through the worst times of the market, where everything was super grim and super dark. It was great to have all of our partners supporting us, and Starter was one of those. So thank you again for that. It was super great.
Awesome. It's the same here. Frandoto, I think we can take one or two questions just in case the community has any. What do you say? Do you have another 5, 10 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to hear what if people want to ask something.
Sure. So we'll just take a pause here, guys. If anyone has a question, feel free to raise your hand and I can give you speaker access. Okay. I see someone has requested it. Just give me a second.
Sure.
Hi. I can't read your entire name, PC Ho, but I've granted you speaker access. Can you hear us?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah. Sure. Go on. We can hear you.
Hello.
Is your question directed towards BC or staking?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay,
What's your question?
my question is partnership is always an important factor for every project. So how is your project partners? What are the benefits you get from this relationship? That's my question.
Apologies,
Did
I
you?
couldn't hear the last part of it. Frandoto, was it clear to you?
Not really. I think the
Yeah,
question was around the partnership, but I'm not completely sure. Can you say it again?
Okay, my question is partnership is always an important factor for every project. So who is your partner? What are the benefits you get from this relationship?
Yeah. I think I can start, and if you want to continue later, you can, Vansh. But basically,
sure.
having these partnerships allows all of the TBL that is on the IMM to be earning to be like earning, yeah, compounded interest. So this helps the peg because there are constant buy pressure in the BMBX token. We are improving the liquidity, but also I think it helps a lot with user awareness about the token, because if you are only on one chain, so let's say that you are only BNB yield optimizer, you will be limited to have users from BNB, right? But when you have like an app that shows all of the vault opportunities across 19 different chains, and you see the BNBX vault at the top, it doesn't matter if you are on Avalanche or Phantom. You will see the opportunity, and you will be able to judge, sorry, if you want to get into that pool. So I think it's great for exposure, great for the peg, and obviously great for the users that can see the best opportunities altogether.
Awesome. I think you covered almost all the
Okay,
bits. Nothing left
really
to
good
add.
answer, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your
Great.
question.
Yeah, thanks for your question. Uh, just taking a pause here. Anyone else? Feel free to raise your hand.
I'm just seeing the some of the tweets. Fonny says, "Thank you for the opportunity to learn more about liquid staking. I want to say thank you for listening. I hope you learned something."
Yeah, great. Not really sure if anyone else. Okay, we do see one request. Let me add Alok as a speaker. Yeah, Alok, I've granted you speaker
Yeah,
access.
hi. So, my question is to Beefy. So recently, so like you are also like coming to the hardware wallet segment. So since it's like a, such a competitive market and there are like big players who are like working since like more than 5 to 6 years in this space. So like how are you like planning to tap into this like competitive market, and like what are your like extra features comparing to your competitors in terms of maybe like some spec or something like that?
Um, why? What do you mean we are tapping into the hardware wallet market?
It's like I seen like some posts in your like social medias recently like about beefy hardware wallet, so that's why.
Mm, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Let me. Do you have the post?
Yeah.
Let me. You're. It wasn't like an April Fool's joke, right?
Okay, sorry.
No worries then. All right. Uh,
Yeah,
cool then. Frandoto, I think it was great to have you and great talking about
likewise.
liquid staking and the role of yield optimizers in DeFi and our long-standing partnership. Happy to sort of post you and let's continue building, let's continue partnering with the vaults that we have in place and keep on building more vaults and delivering a safe way and abstracted away solution to users to sort of earn yields.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, I want to say that thank you for hosting me. Thank you everyone that joined and stick around. And I want to say that I will keep asking about effects if we keep making spaces until it's right. So you won't get rid of me.
Absolutely, no worries at all. I'll always be answering the question, but it'll still be great. Once the launch date is out, I'll be happy to share that with you for sure.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome. Great then. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you guys. Bye.